Hello, welcome to my garden in Denmark. It's the 11th of May and this garden is located in a USDA Zone 7 equivalent here in Europe. Just look at these tulips. These are Darwin hybrids, at least most of them are, and they are looking really great. And more are on the way. Also some double woodland anemones. I am going to split some of my anemones this year and to establish them throughout the garden. I think they are looking really beautiful, and I am planting so densely that they will be covered up in a couple of months anyway, so the dying foliage doesn't really matter that much. Also down here, if you saw my last video, I mentioned that I have some bloodroot, and now the leaves have appeared. The flowers are gone, and these are the leaves. And the hellebores that were looking so good just a couple of weeks ago are starting to fade, but they have been flowering for such a long time. Hellebores are really worth it. And I also have some things on the way. Allium Globemaster. I have that throughout the garden. This particular clump I'm gonna dig up and divide, but not before it has lost its leaves. It needs to get all of that power that it can feed into the bulb this season. Then I'm gonna dig it up, split it, and establish it in this other border. I only have a few over in this newly established border, so I am gonna see if I can establish quite a nice clump over here as well. Allium Globemaster is one of my favorite alliums, and that's because it's sterile. It doesn't spread with seeds, and it flowers for a really long time. Plus, I am having a great deal of success with it here in this garden. More anemones, more woodland anemones, again the double variety. They did start blooming a little bit later than all of my other anemones, rather all of my other woodland anemones. And the remaining anemones have actually faded by now. And these hydrangeas, the hydrangea paniculata varieties, they are just so good here. They don't freeze to the ground for me. Most other hydrangeas will freeze right to the ground and shoot from there, and then they might not flower, while the paniculata varieties, they are really great. Another plant that's really great is Camassia, just about to flower. You can see there is actually one that has started flowering, and these will just turn into a pillar of blue, probably in a week or so. This will look really good. Camassias, although their bulbs aren't that large, you should plant them really deeply. I think this one is in perhaps 30 or 40 centimeters. It's planted really deeply, a lot deeper than you would expect. And that's something that I picked up from Gardener's World, is that you should dig these in really deeply, because they don't like to dry up. Another plant that is just looking stunning is this one. It's Brunnera Jack Frost. And I don't think that this camera I'm filming using an iPhone will do it justice. It's just one of the most blue colors that you can basically get from a flower. It's just looking really nice, and of course the foliage later on has some interest to it as well, this variegated foliage. This one will spread by seed though. Yeah, moving along and looking back. Yeah, the apple trees are just looking great. Plus everything is starting to be green. Finally, after a long winter. More tulips. Again, my guess is that these are what they called Darwin hybrids. But it's a guess. Some of these I got from my mother, but most of them I purchased online, and those that I purchased online are definitely Darwin hybrids and should have a really good chance of coming back. And yeah, it is looking really nicely right now. Another plant that I would like to show you is Lathyrus vernus. I'm actually pretty sure that this is a native plant, and it is the bees really like this plant. Of course, there aren't that many bees here in spring. It's mainly the bumblebees that I've seen so far, and they are still, of course, it's mainly the queens that are around. I think they are starting to multiply though. But that is a beautiful plant as well. Actually have a one with a lighter flower than this one. Again, this one is newly established, so you can definitely get it in 2 different varieties. I think this one will look good in a couple of years as well. Another thing, my peonies. This is Bowl of Beauty. Was established, what, 2 years ago? And last year it didn't have any buds on it, and I was actually worried that perhaps I planted it too deeply, but I can see that it has budded up nicely. So my guess is that it will look really nice here in perhaps a month or so. The issue with peonies is that quite often you plant them too deeply. They shouldn't be planted any deeper than the container that you receive them in, so they should be planted at the same height or perhaps even a little bit more shallow. I did have some of my peonies fall over this year though. The last couple of weeks we've had a lot of wind, so there was some wind damage, and I removed the fallen stems basically. This one also budding up, but that one I wasn't so nervous about if I had planted too deeply, because it was established last year and it's already flowering. So that one I definitely got right. Again, it's Bowl of Beauty. Yeah, and you can see a little bit of wind damage on my tulips. Yeah, we just had so much wind. But now today, there's almost no wind at all. And look at that, we're back at where we started. Yeah, it is starting to look really nicely, of course. Oh, and one thing I didn't do this year, I didn't mulch. Perhaps I'll regret it, but it will be a lot easier for me to divide the anemones now that I didn't. That wasn't my reason for not doing it though. I didn't have a lot of time, and hence I didn't mulch. But let's see how it goes. Perhaps I will regret it when all of the weeds start to spread. But that is a worry for a different time, right? Right now, I'm just gonna enjoy this nice view, and perhaps even enjoy that it's warm enough for a beer on my terrace. So if you want to see another garden video, please subscribe, and there should be another video coming in 14 days or so. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.